Only in those rare moments when he pulls me to his chest and makes promises he never seems able to keep does the pain disappear.
Hi, Studio Recapped here. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called After We Fell in the Drama and Romance genres. Spoiler alert is on, watch out and take care. The movie kicks off with a throwback where Tessa's mom, Carol, kicks Richard out for his drinking and job drama. Little Tessa tries to stop him, but no, he's out. Fast forward to today, Tessa and Hardin find Richard living on the streets and drag him back home. Richard all smiles, super happy to see Tessa, and they have a cozy dinner. He even says she's a good cook, just like her mom. Cute, right? Richard tries to explain he's been sending gifts to Tessa but believes her mom kept them hidden. Hardin's not buying it and isn't impressed by Richard's rude dinner table comments. Tessa pulls Hardin aside, asking him to chill and give her dad a shot. Hardin admits he's just trying to protect her, but Tessa's like, "I'm good. I don't need your protection." Later, Hardin offers Richard cash, thinking that's why he's back. But Richard's like, "Nah, I just want to rebuild my relationship with my daughter." Tessa heads to the park with Landon, Hardin's stepbro, to talk about her move to Seattle. Hardin pops in and overhears, getting all jealous. He asks when she's moving, and she says in a week. She didn't tell him earlier because she wasn't sure if he'd stick around. Tessa's excited about Seattle, but hoped Landon would join her. Hardin drops the bomb that he wanted to go to London with her. Tessa's like, "We'll talk later. Gotta go to class." Hardin calls his mom, Trish, and blows up when he finds out everyone knows about Tessa's plans except him. Later, he and Richard end up in a club fight with some jerk making nasty comments about Tessa. Tessa gets the bartender's call and goes to pick them up. That night, Hardin apologizes, explaining the fight was over some dude bad-mouthing Tessa. The next morning, Richard tells Tessa he's leaving since she's moving. She asks him to stay, but he's got a ride ready. Tessa gives him her number, asking him not to disappear again. After Richard leaves, Tessa and Hardin argue again. Hardin asks if she's gonna send him away next, and Tessa's like, "Seattle's my dream, dude." Tessa thinks it'd be awesome if Hardin moved with her to Seattle, but he's not feeling it. He's like, "I can't live the flashy life there, I've got nothing in Seattle but you." And that's not enough. Tessa's like, "That's your problem, not mine." Later, she goes to Vance Publishing, and Kimberly offers her a place to crash in Seattle. Turns out, Vance offered Hardin a job there, but he turned it down. Classic Hardin. Tessa confronts Hardin about the job, and he's like, "I didn't want it. I didn't even know you were moving." They both realize they need to talk more if they want to make this work. So, they spend the weekend at the lake house with Hardin's fam. Hardin actually connects with his stepfamily. Tessa talks to Landon, and she's having sad thoughts about leaving, but Landon's like, "Follow your dreams. If Hardin loves you, he'll figure it out." At dinner, Hardin runs into his old friend Lilliam, and suddenly Tessa's feeling some jealousy vibes. Hardin leaves her with the group while he sits with Lilliam, and some waiter, Robert, starts flirting with Tessa. Hardin swoops in to stop that nonsense. Back at the lake house, it's just Tessa and Hardin, so they make romantic in the hot tub. Afterward, Hardin asks if she's moving for Trevor and if she ever liked him. Tessa admits she did, and Hardin freaks out, storms off. She tries to reach out, but he's busy with Lilliam. Tessa decides to go out too, runs into Robert, who invites her to hang with him and his friends at the hotel. Hardin shows up with Lilliam, and while they talk, Tessa learns Lilliam's actually a lesbian with a girlfriend. Plot twist. Tessa's shocked but decides to stay. Eventually, she leaves with Robert, apologizes for leading him on, and he gives her his number. When Tessa gets home, Hardin's packing, all mad because he found Robert's number and thinks Tessa's been flirting. He accuses her of taking the job because Vance favors her. Tessa's livid. Hardin insists she won't give up the job for him, and they argue until they leave the lake house early. Hardin talks to Vance, who clears things up. Tessa got the job because she's actually good at her work. Back home, Hardin finds Tessa's journal and sees how much their relationship hurt her. Tessa starts her new life in Seattle, and after a few days of silence, she finally calls Hardin. He hands up at first, thinking she's with some guy, but quickly calls her back and says it was just his trainer. Classic Hardin again. Hardin joins boxing classes to get that anger out so he doesn't snap at people. After that, they make up and start calling each other regularly. Tessa has a chat with Kimberly and Vance one night they're expecting a baby. Back home, Hardin has a nightmare about Tessa cheating with Robert. Freaked out, he decides to surprise her in Seattle. Tessa's totally shocked and happy when he shows up. They go to her room to stash his stuff. Hardin returns her journal and admits he didn't mean to read it, but just couldn't stop himself. He feels guilty for hurting her and apologizes. Tessa says she didn't want him to read it, but Hardin's feeling sorry for himself, and they share a soft kiss. But then Hardin remembers his nightmare and pulls back, saying they shouldn't keep Kimberly and Vance waiting. At dinner, Tessa shares her relationship worries with Kimberly, who reassures her that all relationships are tough, but they can make it work. In the middle of the night, Tessa wakes up and finds the other side of the bed empty. She searches for Hardin and finds him boxing in a gym. She asks if she did something wrong since he's been distant. Hardin admits his mind's stuck on the dream, thinking Tessa deserves someone better. Tessa's like, "Nope, I'm sticking with you, don't worry." At breakfast the next day, Hardin takes a call from his mom. Kimberly drops the bomb his mom's getting married. Tessa asks Hardin about it, saying if he doesn't want to take her with him, she'll understand. He says he's not sure, but if he goes, she's coming too. He promises to think about it. When Hardin gets home, he finds Richard all beaten up and bruised. Richard admits he owes some shady people money, and they gave him a nice beating. Hardin offers him his watch to sell and pay off the debt. Meanwhile, Tessa's in Seattle at the hospital for birth control, but the doctor tells her it's not needed because of some cervix issues that made it hard to conceive. Hardin talks to his dad about moving to Seattle, but his dad suggests waiting until Hardin graduates in 2 months to make it a bigger deal. Hardin agrees to wait on moving and talks about his mom's wedding. His dad says she'll be happy with Mike, her soon-to-be hubby. Back at Seattle, Hardin hits up a Vance event and tells Tessa he's planning to move. Later, he talks to Vance, who asks why Hardin's not going to his mom's wedding. Hardin's like, "I want to drag Tessa into my drama." Vance tells him to trust Tessa, she won't judge him for his past. Hardin and Tessa go to the wedding. Tessa hits it off with Trish, Hardin's still keeping his distance. Late that night, Hardin can't sleep and sneaks to the kitchen for some water, only to catch his mom and Vance getting hot and heavy. Furious, Hardin starts throwing punches at Vance until Tessa steps in. The next day, Trish's wedding happens. Kimberly spills to Tessa that she knows Vance cheated, but can't stay mad at him because, well, love. Meanwhile, Hardin and Vance hit the bar, and Vance drops the bomb he's Hardin's biological dad. Kimberly tells Tessa the same thing. Hardin's blown away, storms out, and Tessa follows. They meet in the middle of the road, hug it out, and share a steamy kiss.